The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us. We have a tremendous show today. Super guests, as always. I'd like to remind you, go to stewart.com/radio. That's where you can hear and see the guests on this show. It takes you right to the YouTube channel. That's stewart.com/radio. So great topics today. We're going to talk about telling your story. We have a company called P&R Creatives. She's right here, Jenna Jackson. In addition, we have a super realtor, Megan Cardette. In addition to real estate, she's also helping horses, little horses, big horses. We're going to find out so much more. And yes, Stewart Title, we are an international company. We say this all the time. And we're going to have Mitch Creekmore from our international division and find out what's going on there. So let's get down to business right now with Jenna Jackson with P&R Creative right here in Houston, Texas. Jenna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's exciting because on your website, right off the bat, I love the caption where it says, "Let us tell your story," and that's so important in any category of life, especially in sales, especially in branding. So let's tell people about your company.
Sure. Yes. I think the core of what we do is we tell your story, whether that's a company, a realtor, a nonprofit, a person who wants to tell their story if they have an incredible story. I feel like that's how people connect with you no matter what you do, and it can help you in business and life. So, we do video productions. That's what my history is in. We're a full creative agency, so we also do PR, media relations, marketing, social media, all kinds of stuff.
Very exciting. In fact, let's tell people about your background. You have a tremendous resume and great experience. Let's tell people some of the things that they can identify with something like CBS. We've heard of that network and some of their great personalities that you've worked alongside of.
Yes. My first career was in television in New York. I was a television producer at CBS in New York for 15 years, mostly crime shows. I worked for 48 Hours. I used to
watch all those episodes. Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah, we're actually working with them right now on a special 2-part 48 Hours that'll be up later this month, which will be fun, but lots of crime stuff in my past. Not personally. But I got to CBS because I went to Sam Houston here in Texas, and I was lucky enough to meet Dan Rather, who is also a Sam Houston alum, and he kind of took me under his wing. He's a Texas guy. He's amazing, and he got me to CBS entry level, and I just worked my way up over 15 years I was there. So it was really fun. Learned a lot, and then I started my own company.
And also, when you met Dan Rather, what year was that, if you recall, or
Sure.
around what year?
Yep, I was a sophomore in college, so I think 94, and then I went to CBS in 1998, which I know dates me.
Wow.
That's okay.
You have experience.
It was fun.
And you moved from Texas
Yes.
to CBS New York.
Yeah.
Now, I want to just be a part of what your mindset was, because so many people have visions of being in entertainment, show business, whether it's California or going to New York City.
I know it.
So what was your thinking just going back those years as you packed your bags and said, hey, I'm going to start this exciting career? And I met Dan Rather. He's helped me. Give us a word. What was that like?
I mean, I felt incredibly lucky, but I was also really nervous. I grew up in a town of 12,000 in East Texas, so it was a major shock to my system. Thankfully, people in New York are maybe not quite as friendly as Texans, but I found some good ones, and they really took care of me. And it was a great career. It was a great experience. I mean, I would encourage any kid growing up in small town Texas to, take that shot if they want to, for sure.
Well, as you're helping individuals and companies, again, using the tagline, let us tell your story, that is so important. If we think about the real estate professional, when they are on a listing presentation, who is the realtor that gets the listing? It's the one that tells a better story.
Right.
And as you said earlier, it's that connection process.
Yep,
For some
exactly.
reason, we connect with people more than others, some people more than others. Certain people, as they tell a story, all of a sudden draw us in and we say, that's the professional for me to work with.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there are so many realtors out there. There are so many companies out there, no matter what kind it is. And getting people to connect with you one-on-one and they trust you and they feel like they know you, that's the most important thing. And it's true for people and it's also true for companies. You've got to make sure you put your best foot forward, right? As our parents told us growing up, it's the same. And so we can help you do that through video or social media, or we do a lot of sustainability initiatives for companies, through their marketing materials. It's just, I think that's the best way to connect with someone and get them to want to do business with you.
And on your website, some of the captions are part of the menu. You have digital video production, communication, strategic branding. And that's something tell us a word on the strategic branding, because let's say going back to the real estate world, if I'm an individual agent or if I'm an agent that we have a team, or then you have the broker, the bigger company picture, each one of them needs to get the brand and that strategic branding out. What are some of the components? Give us a clue how you help any of those entities get their brand out.
Yeah, as an individual, especially a realtor, because you're out there in front of people, you are your brand, right? So everything about you, your social media, how you talk to people, how you act in the grocery store when you see your neighbors. I mean, all of that is part of your personal brand. And it's very important because people want to know they can trust you, that you're authentic. For companies, so the bigger realty teams and title companies, and I mean, that's your brand is your reputation, right? It's the quality of your work. It's how you treat your customers, and it's your reputation historically, so that people can say, look, they're reliable. They do what they say they're going to do. Their people are awesome. I think you can help build your brand in a number of ways. Social media, obviously, is very important these days. I am in my late 40s, so we didn't grow up with social media, but I mean, I will tell you, it's a huge business tool now. You can track your analytics, see who's looking at your posts, see who's responding, see what business you're getting. So, that's a very important tool that we offer to realtors, to businesses, and just anyone sort of wanting to get the story of themselves and their brand out there.
Also, as far as being able to reach someone, sometimes in that brand, we can put our names or something that people can remember. And as you mentioned, being in the grocery store or other places, I told people my website, and that's kind of my brand.
Yeah, it is your brand.
Radiobill.net. Come on.
Yep.
So that's
and it's memorable, which is great.
Exactly.
So you kind of, it doesn't hurt to have something catchy and short and memorable, so people think about, oh my gosh, that charming guy I met in the grocery store, his website was so great,
And easy to, that's one of the things I think when we think about websites and things like that, and especially on a radio show like this, Stewart.com/radio, we want to have something that as they're driving, and a lot of people listen to the show when they're driving, that they don't have to stop and write it down. They could say, oh, I remember that, Stewart.com/radio. So that's where they can access all the show, things like that. When you help people tell the story, I know on your website there's video production and things like that. Let's tell people a little bit about that, and also some of the other ways that you help get their story out.
Sure. So my history is in video production. I produced for 15 years. I started my own company in 2012, and we've done some documentaries. We've done a ton of corporate videos and nonprofit videos and that kind of thing. But I think the biggest thing is you get to know your client and what their story is, and then help them tell it. I always say, if you can't sit in front of someone, video is the next best thing. Because people can feel like they get to know you and really connect with you, and maybe they can't all get to meet you in person. So we do video for realtors. probably quite a bit in the Austin area where our other big office is. A house has a brand too. I mean, if you're getting really cool video, aerials, GoPro video, making a cool video showcasing just an incredible house, that could be the best sales tool you have potentially. We do sort of short videos for social media. We do documentaries. Families have hired us before to capture their grandmother's stories before she gets too old and no one remembers them, that sort of thing. I mean, there's just, video can be a huge gift, whether you're selling your brand or whether you're just trying to preserve awesome stories.
And in residential real estate, that's very personal, that's emotional. When we see a home, sometimes when realtors show the home, they could show 5 homes, but they know the moment the person walks in that somehow the home's connected to them.
Yeah, their homes have stories too,
Right.
So, I think smart realtors are really going in this direction to use video and social media and really try to get people to instantly connect. I mean, every realtor wants a bidding war, right? So,
And they're getting it these days.
that story gets out there quick.
Especially
That's what
in Houston,
you want.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned Austin, Texas. I think it's even more insane there. We're talking with Jenna Jackson. She is the founder, CEO, and producer at P&R Creative, based right here in Houston. Now, you mentioned you have also an office in Austin.
Yes.
Let's tell people where you're reaching out as far as you're helping people certainly in Houston and Austin and where else? I guess all over.
Everywhere. I mean, I joke that, we have offices, brick and mortar offices in Texas. We're based here. We're a proud Texas family. My brother runs our Austin office, but we're mobile all over the world. I mean, my brother just got back from filming in New Zealand. We have been to Canada a lot. So do I. I didn't get to go on that one, but we go wherever the story's happening, wherever the client needs us. So, yep, it's fun. It's an adventure every day.
And Jenna, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
I would just say, as a realtor, as a business person, it's so important to tell your story and build your brand and make it consistent and authentic, and then people will connect to you. It works.
And they can find so much more at your website. The website is
prcreativegroup.com. prcreativegroup.com. It's not as short as yours, but Google it if you don't remember it.
It is prcreativegroup.com, and the phone number is
917-922-8146. 917-922-8146.
Jenna, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Let's welcome Megan Cardette. She is a realtor, and also she's helping horses. The realty company is called eXp Realty, and the organization helping those horses is called A Place for Peanut. Megan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You're doing so much work. Incredible. Helping buyers and sellers, and also helping horses.
Well, that's my passion, of course.
Finding homes for two-legged and four-legged at the same time.
That's right. Actually, you know what? A lot of my clients are, if they're not already horse people, they are buying ranches and then they're adopting horses from us. So it's pretty cool.
And more people than ever are reaching out to the rural zones as far as wanting to be around where they can get horses or have horses and things like that here, not just in Houston, but I mean, I'm in communication with people in Wyoming. Same thing. The rural properties are more popular than ever. First, let's talk real estate.
Okay.
Okay. eXp Realty, you are there helping buyers and sellers. How's the market right now? And do you focus on a certain area, or how do you approach your profession?
You know, actually, I go wherever my clients need me to go. I'm obviously licensed in Texas, so I'll go all over Texas. For the rural, I do farm and ranch, so I'll go all over Texas. I just sold a ranch in Seguin. I have one coming up in Belleville, so I'm all over the place. And I'm also an international realtor, and I work in Italy.
You work in Italy?
Yes.
You sell real estate in Italy?
Yes.
Okay, now we're going on. Let's go to Italy. All right,
Okay,
let's
let's
get
go.
into the corporate jet, the Real Estate Matters jet. We're going to Italy just for a second. So I guess they have real estate there too, right?
That's right.
And you need a license to sell and help buyers and sellers there, I'm guessing.
Well, actually, I have my certified international property specialist that I use over there. And with COVID, I haven't had a chance to sell over there lately, but I mainly have listings over there, obviously. And I have family and friends over there, so I'm over there, or I was over there a lot. So I was doing a lot of business, and now hopefully we'll pick that back up soon.
A quick word on real estate in another country, especially Italy. On my mother's side, you wouldn't know it by my last name, but her mom and dad came right off the boat from Italy many years ago. She was the baby of 16 children. It's another story, another show. But in the meantime, what part of Italy are you most familiar with in terms of real estate?
Tuscany. I know Tuscany like the back of my hand. It's like my second home.
Is it beautiful there?
It's gorgeous, yes.
How much do homes sell for over there? I'm not talking about the beautiful mansions and things like that might be around the countryside. I don't know. But let's say a regular home, 2,000 square foot in a nice area, whatever that is.
Well, it's a little bit different over there because, we've got suburbs and we have neighborhoods over here. It's different over there because you've got villas, old villas. So my last listing was a 14th century villa that I had over there.
How much?
It's in the hills of Tuscany. You wouldn't believe how much it was. It was actually under $1 million.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And so my friend that owns it, he bought it and he completely restored it and he leases it year round. Well, maybe not in the winter months because it is in the mountains of Italy, and so it's kind of difficult to get to. He leases it all the time, and then he decided he might want to do something else. So we had it on the market for a long time. I'm actually shocked that it didn't sell because it has 19 hectares of land. So
what's a hectare?
I knew you would ask me that.
Come on. Is that like an acre?
Don't ask me that. It's been so long.
Hectare.
It is.
It's an area of land.
It's a big area of land.
Holy smokes.
It's terraced, and there's a vineyard, and there's an olivetta, and it's just beautiful. One. Yes, absolutely.
All right. So meanwhile, let's reel back to Houston right quick. And people could reach out to you about Italy. It sounds awesome. But right here in Houston, the market's kind of sort of crazy. What can you tell people about Houston right now that they should know about?
Houston is an ever-changing market. It is selling, as you know, like hotcakes. Even in the country, if you go out a little bit further, we have record sales every month. You just can't keep the house on the market long enough. There's multiple offers. It's a great time for sellers to sell their homes.
As far as selling the home, the homes don't stay on the market that long anymore here in Houston.
They don't unless they're crazy high. They stay on the market a little bit longer. The 2 million plus stay on a little bit longer, yes.
Anything below that, maybe 500, 400, 600, that's
absolutely.
A different story.
Sell it in a week, absolutely.
Before I forget, I want to thank our good buddy, your brother-in-law, I guess Randy Holzap.
Randy, yes.
Randy, we had lunch not that long ago, and he told me about you, and I said, well, we'll get her on the show ASAP, and here you are. Thank you, Randy. If you're listening, I know you are. I hope he is, right?
Right.
We'll make sure he is.
You better be.
Okay, switching gears. People can reach out to you for real estate, but also, and it's not uncommon for any realtor, probably not just in Texas, but we have big hearts here. There's no question about it. But you, along the way, are helping horses that are on their last leg. They're going to be put down if someone doesn't step in to help, and that's you. You've done it with your organization, and that's called A Place for Peanut. Tell us about the organization.
Well, I tell you what, to be put down, that would be the humane thing to do, but that's not what happens. So what we do is we rescue horses from the slaughter pipeline. There is
Wait a minute. There's a term, slaughter pipeline? That sounds horrible.
It is. It's awful. It's an awful business, and the general public does not know about it. So we're actually trying to raise as much awareness as we can by it. So what happens is, let's say that you have a horse and you're going off to college, and your parents say, well, let's just take that horse to the local auction. It's an amazing horse. Some little kid's going to buy it. It's going to be fine. So they take it to the auction. Well, what people don't know is that the kill buyers that have kill pens, and I'll get to that in a minute, but the kill buyers frequent all the auctions, and they have deep, deep pockets, and they buy up as many horses as they can. So you really can't. I mean, I just went to an auction a couple of weeks ago, and there were not that many families there. Maybe one or two families bidding on horses. The rest of it were horse traders, or they were kill buyers. So they buy up all the horses that they can. They take them back to what they call the kill pens, and they triple their prices. They give the horse 1 week to find a home. So they prey on people, individuals, a lot of individual rescuers, and then people like us, the nonprofits. So if we don't save them, then they get shipped to slaughter, and they ship pregnant horses, old horses, blind horses, Mustangs, who you would think that are, protected by our government. They're not. So they ship all of these horses. They crowd them onto a trailer if they make it to Mexico, because that's where they ship. Down in the south, they get shipped to Mexico, and in the north, they get shipped to Canada. So they ship them, and it's like a very long haul. It is without food and water if they make it. A lot of them die on the trailer. Then they get slaughtered, and it's an awful death.
That is so disturbing. Mm-hmm. So you're helping. That's the bright news here.
Absolutely.
How long and when did you started the organization?
I did.
How many years ago?
We started it I started it with my late fiance, and we started it in 2016, January 2016. Since then, we've saved over 400 souls. So it's really awesome. And, so what we try to do is we have horses that will stay with us forever because they have issues. But most of the horses we rehab and then we adopt out. And so my motto for A Place for Peanut is from the slaughterhouse to the penthouse. And I'm not kidding you. These horses go to the penthouse. They live better than most people. It's amazing.
Let's tell the website is
placeforpeanut.com. Placeforpeanut.com.
Placeforpeanut.com. Also, you have some great YouTube videos that tell the story, show the pictures of the horses. And at the beginning, I said horses of all sizes. Somehow there are miniature horses that, I've heard of the Shetland pony and things, but tell us about the miniature horses. I guess people have them as pets, or what happens about the miniature horses?
Let's hope they don't.
Peanut a miniature horse?
Yes, Peanut is a miniature horse, and she was an orphan, so she was our first horse, and that's why we named it A Place for Peanut. She's the one that started it off. Of course, she's still with us. People always ask me.
Oh, great.
She will stay with us for life.
It's good to get some good news after that backdrop.
I know. So, there's miniature horses, and miniature horses range from like 26 inches to 36 inches. So
26 inches.
That's
like really miniature.
Yes, and I have a couple of tiny ones, tiny ones. We use them for therapy animals, for cancer patients, kids with cancer. We're going to do a visit this Sunday to go see someone in hospice. So we love to, that's really why we started A Place for Peanut. It's kind of twofold. It's to save the animals, but also to give back to the people that need us most. Because equine therapy is huge, and there's a connection that you can't explain, but the horses come from a traumatic place, and the person's in an awful place, and they meet in the middle, and it's just unspoken. It's beautiful, yes.
I don't know what can put, I guess there's many things that could put smiles and comfort in our hearts, smiles on our faces, but a miniature horse, my goodness. Someone that, again, as you said, hospice, a child that just child at a birthday party, or a child that wants to go pet horses or something.
Yes.
I don't know what is more charming than that. Wish you brought one.
I should have.
But they wouldn't allow it. That's all I know.
Dang.
We did have a police dog on the show once. But other than that, that has to be incredible. Let's tell people how they can help your organization.
Well, we have a lot of different things. We just started something. It's called Patreon. So if you go to Patreon, patreon.com/A Place for Peanut, we have several different levels that you can be a monthly sponsor. A lot of people, they don't have $50 a month. They have a tight budget. I get that. So there's different levels. It starts at $5. That's $5, $10, and $15 levels. You get behind the scenes footage of what's going on that the general public doesn't get, photos and all that stuff. And then it just goes up from there. And we have an amazing Christmas party that we do every year. It sells out so quick every year. So one of those levels gets one ticket, and another level gets 2 tickets to that dinner, which is a $500 savings right there.
And how often do you go to these auctions?
Well,
and are they all over Houston, all over Texas? They're in the country, I'm guessing.
They're all over Texas. A lot of them are in Dallas. The worst one's in Louisiana, of course. I just went to an auction a couple of weeks ago, and we pulled, how many did we pull? I think 10, 15. We pulled 15.
15 horses.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Way to go.
Yeah.
And I see now that we're friends on Facebook, I'm seeing some of the activities. I think you post a picture of one or several of the horses that you saved. Mm-hmm. My mind goes back trying to think of happy things. Is the miniature horses. I'm stuck on that. They have to be just so cool.
They're so adorable. I can tell you they are smaller than most people's dogs. Like, I just took one in. He looks like a little stiff teddy bear. So he's going to be in training for one of our therapy horses.
What are their personalities like? Horses in general. The small one and the big normal size, whatever that is, normal size horse. Do they have personalities?
Absolutely.
Where they know you, they see you. If they
Yes.
didn't see you a couple days, they're happy. The tails wag like dogs.
Tails wag, no, but they call out to you and they'll run over to you. And the donkeys do the same. The donkeys bray at
You're
you.
helping donkeys as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they have personalities.
Big personalities.
Each
Yes.
one's different, I'm guessing.
Absolutely, yes.
Once again, eXp Realty, you're helping buyers and sellers for many years, several decades. You're a real estate professional, right?
Yes.
Let's tell people how they can reach out to you for real estate.
They can go to megancardette.com or they can call me direct at 832-689-5740. 832-689-5740.
We really hope people help A Place for Peanut. You're doing tremendous work there. Again, that's aplaceforpeanut.com.
Correct.
Check out your YouTube videos. You'll see why it's important to help. Megan, thanks for being on the show. And if I don't know if you put a radio in the barn or the horses, maybe they're listening, and you're saying the tails don't wag or they do.
Well, not like a dog.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I thought
Unless
they'd
they're
go back
swishing
and forth.
a fly or
There you
something.
go.
Yes,
I thought
yes.
that's because they're happy.
Yeah.
Megan Cardette, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Stewart Title has many awesome associates right here. It's been a long time since he's been on the show. Mitch Creekmore. Many people don't know that Stewart is an international company and, by the way, traded on the New York Stock Exchange as STC. Mitch has been involved for decades with Stewart in the international world. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill.
And
Pleasure
also-
to be back.
And also, you happen to know everybody in Houston, apparently, all the people in this room.
What happens when you grow up in Houston? We're native Houstonians.
That's awesome. So let's tell people, Stewart Title, we think about all the business development people, escrow officers right here in the Houston area, which is tremendous, but you're in a different part of Stewart helping the international business. Let's tell people about that.
Well, I'm the international BDO. I've been with Stewart for 28 years.
Wow.
We started the Mexico division in 1994 when NAFTA came into being. Mexico changed its foreign investment laws. The Morrises had a vision, and particularly Stuart Morris Sr., that we would be able to issue title policies to foreign purchasers of Mexican real estate because the laws had changed. They changed the concept of the Mexican bank trust. They changed foreign ownership into Mexican corporations. You and I can create a Mexican corporation and buy real estate for development purposes with no Mexican participation. Prior to 1994, you had to have a 51% controlling interest Mexican partner. So that's why we went into Mexico. 2001, we created Stewart Title Guarantee de Mexico, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Stewart Title Guarantee. We became the first and only Mexican title insurance underwriter owned by a U.S. underwriting parent, and we've been there ever since.
And they've kept you pretty busy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I traveled throughout Mexico. To give you some idea, Bill, of how much, I was flying 70 and 80,000 miles a year. I'm now a 1 million miler on United Airlines because of all the trips that I've made during that 28 years into Mexico and Central America, traveling sometimes to Europe to speak. I've been around a lot.
Another show first. That's incredible. And also, you do right here in Houston, you know so many people with Stewart because of Stewart Title. You're involved in so many things, and many times I'm talking to someone just out of the blue. Well, do you know Mitch Creekmore? I'm like, yes, I sure do.
Well, it's been very fun because with us pioneering bringing title insurance into a foreign jurisdiction, that was really the first foreign jurisdiction that we went into. I think, as you're aware of, I've co-authored 2 books, one on Mexican real estate, the other on Central American real estate, which I wrote with Tom Kelly, syndicated columnist from Bainbridge, Washington, Bainbridge Allen. So it was a way to market Stewart and what we were doing and what we were bringing to the marketplace, creating title insurance policies. And then ultimately in 2000, we brought escrow services to Mexico because that had never existed. So we really gained a reputation for, quote unquote, being the experts in Mexican realty and Central American realty.
Well, Stewart Title, we have so many distinctions. One of them is our longevity. I lose track. You probably know the exact date, Mitch. But we're over 127, at least 127 years.
We're actually 129. Our anniversary is actually in October. And
129.
So, yeah, it's pretty remarkable. It really is. The company, as you know, Bill, we're doing incredibly well. This last 2 years with the changes, just phenomenal. 135% increase in income, $3.3 billion I mean, largest ever was like 1.8 billion. So we're doing incredibly well. The international sector is the smallest of all the various divisions, but overall, as Mr. Eppinger says, we've gone from worst to first.
That's awesome. In fact, going back, I don't know, a couple 50, 75 shows ago, we had someone in the property management world that was in Australia. He's actually a United pilot that does real estate on the side as far as property management at the time. But he goes, hey, do you know so-and-so? Well, we have a business development officer in Australia. Same as in
New Zealand and all around. It's been pretty remarkable when you consider Stewart Canada, Stewart Title Limited, headquartered in London, United Kingdom. That is a European title insurance underwriter. So they're like Stewart Title Guarantee in the United States, Stewart Title Guarantee of Mexico, which are all underwriters, and now that services the European Union.
From a terminology standpoint, earlier in the show, Megan used the word a hectare of land. I understand that you actually know what that is. What is a hectare of land?
2.46 acres is 1 hectare. And in all the civil code jurisdictions, not common law, civil code jurisdictions, that's how they measure the size of the land. So everything is in hectares, not in acres like we're accustomed to.
That's very interesting.
Well, you got to. That's one of the first things you learn, Bill, when you go into civil code jurisdictions. Just like in Italy, just like in Mexico, just like in El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, Brazil. So,
well, give us an idea. Speaking of Mexico, that's the closest. Well, Canada's pretty close too. But as far as real estate, what do you see? We're helping people with title policies there. But what are some of the things that are different that people would be interested to know in terms of how real estate is done there and the buying and selling and some of the trivia, if you might have a word on that?
Mexico, Bill, is realistically the most complicated nation in Latin America to own residential real estate for one simple reason. Mexico has a constitutional prohibition that prior to 1994, you could not own residential real estate in Mexico's restricted zone, constitutionally defined, 50 kilometers inland along all the seacoast, 100 kilometers inland, 62 miles along all the natural borders. So that encompassed Guatemala, Belize, and the United States, and they forbid foreigners to own residential real estate. 1974, again, in 1972, they created the concept of what's known as a fideicomiso, a Mexican bank trust, but it was initially only for 30 years. Mexican government realized that's too short a period, made an extension for another 30 years. In 1994, when we started, it all changed to a 50-year automatically renewable 50-year trust. The difference is, Bill, than what we're accustomed. You've got a seller, you've got a buyer, but then you have a constituted Mexican bank that holds the title, vesting these 50-year renewable beneficiary interests. They are what we call the fiduciario, the trustee. The purchaser is the fideicomisario, who has the beneficiary interest, and the seller of that realty is a fideicomitente. So it's very confusing to U.S. purchasers. What's this trust? Well, I don't understand that. So I started writing. First article I produced in 1999 was called Trust Purchasing Real Estate in Mexico. It was a play on words. It was the concept of the fideicomiso to educate them about what this trust is, because that's the only way you're going to get good title to the property.
Let's tell people the names of your books. Can we still get those books?
Absolutely.
Amazon, I'm guessing?
Yes, sir.
All right, the names are?
Cashing In on a Second Home in Mexico, How to Buy, Rent, and Profit from Property South of the Border. Same title for Central America, Cashing In on a Second Home in Central America. It covers all 7 countries. How to Buy, Rent, and Profit from Property in the World's Bargain Zone is what we changed on the title of the book.
Well, I'm hearing also, in fact, I know a good friend of mine, she is buying or building a home. So it's probably more complicated there to deal with contractors and go through the process of months and months until it's ready. But she's building a home in Mexico, I forget, on the West Coast somewhere. But I hear of other people buying property. How much of that is going on right now? Even Canadians, I'm hearing, are buying property there in Mexico to have a great summer place.
Yeah, they have been for a long time. The snowbirds love to head down to Mexico. and be able to buy real estate. You have several predominant markets in Mexico. Los Cabos is probably the highest end residential market in all of Latin America, not Mexico.
People love it, don't they?
Yeah, but it's a really amazing real estate bill. We're talking about $1,200 to $1,500 per square foot real estate in Los Cabos, and these are master plan developments. And people will spend the cover of my book on Mexico is Villas del Mar at Palmilla. Interestingly enough, that is the subdivision that Kenneth Snitzer and Ron Hatfield developed, bought 6 lots initially from Don Cole, Newport Beach, and built the whole mountain. If you buy in Villas del Mar and at Palmilla, it's going to be, on average, about $1,300 a square foot real estate.
What about realtors? Do they have realtors like we do here, where they list the property, and then a realtor takes you out to look at it? Is that kind of similar? Yeah,
they've got a lot of good brokerage firms. Caveat: none of them are licensed. The only state in Mexico of the 32 states...
You don't need a real estate license?
No, except for in the state of Sonora, which bounds with Arizona. They have a licensing act. But all the other 31 states, there is not a license act. They have honors and justice. They have requirements in order for you to be registered with that, but it is not a license.
And before we close the segment, Mitch Creekmore, what else should we know?
Well, I've just been at this. Like Megan, I'm a certified international property specialist. That designations come from NAR. I'm an advisor to the International Advisory Group at the Houston Association of Realtors. So it's just what I've done. I've been a real estate broker, Bill, since 1985. So,
and if someone wants to reach you, Mitch?
Email is mcreekmo. You have to drop the R-E from my name. So mcreekmo@stewart.com.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Come back soon.
Love to. Thank you, Bill.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers. Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is from Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett. John, welcome.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Here we go. The show marches on. It continues, and now the icing on the cake, insurance. What have you brought for us today?
Well, Bill, I wanted to share with our listeners there's 3 primary ways that Stewart Insurance can help our clients or prospective clients, our listeners, and wanted to share with them those 3 ways to make sure that people are aware of that, so that when that opportunity or that need comes about, that will be top of mind.
And what are those ways, John?
Well, the first is what we're listening to right now, Real Estate Matters. So if you're a real estate broker, a realtor, realist, property management firm, or an industry or business that supports the real estate industry, talk to us. Real Estate Matters is a great format to reach those within Houston and beyond that have an interest in real estate. As Bill tells us, it airs every Sunday at 5 o'clock on 950 AM,
right after
KPRC, right after the news. You can catch us on the iHeartMedia app, as well as past shows at stewart.com/radio. So if there's an interest in being a guest, reach out to myself or Bill, and we'll have a conversation and see if it makes sense. The second would be continuing education. So whether it be specifically for a CE class or just for growth for your team, we've got several avenues that we can help our clients and prospective clients with. So from a CE class perspective, we offer 3 that are for real estate brokers in the state of Texas, and I can teach them in person or I can teach them online. The first is Property Insurance Essentials for Real Estate Professionals. So it lets real estate professionals understand how insurance companies look at residential insurance plans and residential insurance property. And each one has a different type of plan that coincides with it and different types of coverage around those plans. The second is two sides of water. So from an insurance perspective, water damage is looked at two ways. There's water damage, which there are four elements of that can be covered in a home plan. And then there's flood, which is a separate type of damage that would be covered in a flood insurance plan. So what are the characteristics of the two? What's similar? What's different? When does one constitute or take place, and when does the other? So we cover that in a 2-hour class. And the last one is real estate liability, reduce your risk and protect your license. So what are the different risks that are out there that a real estate professional faces every day? What are the things that we can do to minimize those risks? And then what are some of the insurance products that we can help to support that minimization? So those are the three classes that we have from a CE perspective. But we also have a few others that are just great education over the last year or so. We've shared with first-time home buyers on some things to look at. When you're buying your first home, what are the things you ought to look at in a home plan? If you're buying a home insurance plan, what are the things you ought to consider? We talked about water damage. What coverages are not in that plan? The difference between actual cash value and replacement costs. The different types of perils that are and are not covered. So those are the types of things we can talk about. We have a business insurance overview. So what are the different types of business insurance plans that are out there that would be worth considering? And then specifically talking about cyber risks and some of the insurance plans that can cover the cyber. So that's the second way.
As far as the classes, which ones are the top two in terms of popularity? Just curious.
Two sides of water and property
favorite.
Insurance essentials.
That's the one I love.
Yeah, I mean, especially as we're starting to move towards hurricane season, the two sides of water will become really popular. And the property insurance essentials is great because it gives a fantastic overview and it kind of touches a little bit of everything. So it's a really great, in a way to put it, kind of a starter class.
And as you itemize these things, John, it makes me think of the Stewart Insurance website. As far as the offerings are plentiful and robust offerings, people can go to that website and see the itemized things that you're offering people and business brokers.
Absolutely. And the last way that we can assist is just those insurance plan guidance. So the ultimate way to minimize that risk is to have the proper insurance plan and be properly insured. So, if you're a real estate broker, an independent title or attorney agent, property management firm, mortgage banker, we can help with your business insurance plans like general liability, errors and omissions, cyber risk, workers' comp. And then from an individual or family perspective, we can help you with your home plan, your auto, if you needed an umbrella policy, ATV, motorcycle. If you have vacation property or vacant land, we can help with those as well.
If I have a couple of hectares of land.
If you have a couple of hectares of land, we can put together a heck of a good insurance plan.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that?
A heck of a deal. Well, that's awesome. Again, though, there's so many categories of insurance. And the more we own, the more we're stewards of, so to speak. If we have a house, one car, okay, those are things that right there, there's a lot of insurance needs right there, basic. But then a lot of people have, and we know that at this time, at this hour, those that are driving from 5 to 6 on Sunday, people are on the roads like crazy. They're coming back from their second home, their lake house. They're visiting relatives. So they're on the farm with their horses and things. So there's so many things, the watercraft, so many offerings there that you're helping people with.
Absolutely, and that's why it's important to find an insurance advisor that will invest the time to make sure that you are properly insured, that you understand what risks you're taking on as an individual or a family or a business versus what risk you're placing on the insurance partner. And as long as you understand that difference and you understand and accepting to what those differences are, then in our mind, you're properly insured.
And, of course, reminding people as they hear this show at the time of broadcast, perhaps, but certainly on the Internet, if someone's listening in Wisconsin, New York, California, you can help them as well right here in the United States, wherever they're at.
Absolutely. We work with clients both on their individual and personal insurance as well as their real estate business insurance throughout the U.S.
I meant to, and I may start this, as each week goes by, I see new license plates as I'm on the road. And this time, I hadn't seen a Kentucky one, but this past week I saw one from Kentucky, sure, Louisiana, but you never know. We're seeing new ones all the time.
Well, and we're happy to welcome them to the state and help them with their plans. But if you are listening in Lexington, we can help you as well.
That's right. If you just got to Houston, of course, we hear about California. By the way, I was coming down south on 99, and I think it was 99, where I passed a U-Haul corral, I guess, where all the U-Haul vans and stuff are there. And I'm thinking, wonder how many of them came from California. But if you are new to the city, wherever you came from, we welcome you. And we hope you're enjoying the show. You'll learn about Houston real estate, finding out the characters that we have right here in Houston, Texas, the way realtors and other professionals can help you. And, oh, yeah, like today, a place for peanut, ways that you can help as well. We know realtors have a big heart. And certainly here on Real Estate Matters, John, you talked about some of our features at the very beginning. We're here to help as well, and we've done so many shows.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great that we have the opportunity not only to grow knowledge and interest and understanding in the real estate profession, but also help those that are helping others.
That's right. And, of course, it's been a while since I mentioned Tom Carpentier doing incredible work, the president of Stewart Insurance, 24/7, even while he sleeps. He's incredible and a regular listener. That's what I like.
Absolutely. No, this is part of Tom's routine. He listens when you share the show for the guests on the Friday prior.
That's right, yeah.
Part of Tom's Friday morning routine right after he gets back from his bike ride is he listens to Real Estate Matters.
That's right. We send it out 5:15 a.m. I'm up early at 4 o'clock getting all that ready. John, before we close the segment, what else should we know?
Well, if you'd like to be properly insured, if you want to make sure that your home coverage is the coverage that you need, or that your auto is covered properly, or your vacant land, your vacation property in Lexington or at the lake, you can reach us at 866-798-2827. If you'd like to make sure that your real estate business is properly insured, you can also reach us at 866-798-2827. You can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com or visit us online at stewartinsurance.com.
There's someone in Kentucky that needs an umbrella policy. What number should they call?
I think they ought to call 866-798-2827. What do you think, Bill?
I agree with you. 866-798-2827. Sounds good to me.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure, Bill.
Thank you, John. As we close the show, she is back, Jenna Jackson. She is the founder and CEO of P&R Creative, based here in Houston, Texas. Jenna, welcome back.
Thank you, Bill.
And what else would you like people to know about your company or anything else?
I think just a reminder that everything you do is your personal brand. Whether you're an individual realtor or a company, everybody has a brand, so it's important to keep it authentic and real and consistent. And I think that's how people connect with you and how you differentiate yourself.
And if you were to give someone just one tip in terms of branding, or maybe two, what would that be? No matter if I'm a realtor or if I'm running some other kind of business, a mortgage professional, an interior designer, a home stager.
I would say my biggest tip is if you can't get in front of somebody yourself, use video, even if it's on your phone. I shouldn't say this because we do really cool video, but video from your iPhone is really good these days.
Yeah, the iPhones are unreal.
Use video to connect with people. And the only other thing I would say is just be careful what you put on social media because it's around forever. I tell my kids this, but I tell every client we have that too. People can Google, and you want to make sure everything you put out there is consistent and good for your brand.
P&R Creative. I want to encourage people also to go to your website for many reasons. They could see your full offerings, but also to see your bio. We talked a little bit about it on the segment. However, you have such a resume, so therefore you're able to help people in a tremendous way. Jenna, how can people reach you and your company?
You can go to prcreativegroup.com. You can email me directly, jenna@prcreativegroup.com, or you can call 917-922-8146.
That's 917-922-8146. Jenna Jackson, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Here she is, helping buyers and sellers with eXp Realty, also helping horses, donkeys of all sizes. Right, Megan?
That's right.
Megan Cardette, eXp Realty, and as we said before, a place for Peanut, helping those horses that are, to say they're in need and the kind of troubles they face. If you don't save them or someone else, it's incredible. What else do we want to know?
Well, we are having a big event at the farm where we encourage everyone to come out and meet our rescues because they all have a story. And you're going to be surprised about some of the horses that you meet. We do have a granddaughter of Seattle Slew. We have some amazing horses there, so it's going to be a family day. It is a sip and stroll, and so we're hoping to have a food truck there and just a lot of fun. Bring your family. The date is May 14th, and it starts at noon.
What day is that?
It is a Saturday.
May 14th, a Saturday, starts at noon.
Yes. And I'll tell you, our address is 13825 159 West in New Ulm. New Ulm's the address, but it's really 10 miles right outside of Belleville or right before Industry. So if you want more information, you can always email me at aplaceforpeanut@gmail.com for more information.
And also, I guess, through the website, they could find out more and connect with you there.
Absolutely.
The website is?
At placeforpeanut.com. At placeforpeanut.com.
And if someone wants to help, they could send money.
They can send money. Well, you know what? We like time.
What if they want to volunteer? Or
exactly. You
can
know,
they do that?
it's time, treasure, or talent. So whatever you want to give, we are happy to take it. We are a full 100% volunteer organization. So we have about 40 head of horses. So we need all the help we can get.
Right now, huh?
Yes, yes.
And what's the smallest? So you have this miniature horses. How small is the miniature most?
Okay, let's see. Our latest. He is. Right now. Gosh, he is the size of he's smaller than a lab.
No.
Yes.
And it's a horse.
A horse.
That's like looking at one through a microscope.
It's like a teddy bear, basically. It's adorable.
Do kids go crazy when they see
this?
Yes. I mean,
yes.
adults, I would go nuts.
I do too, but I live in the city, so I can't bring them home.
That is incredible. Yeah. What's the name of that little one?
That one, the newest one, is Superman.
Superman. Who would have known?
Superman.
Once again, aplaceforpeanut.com.
Yes.
You can help. You can go to the event, find out more. Thank you so much for being on the show. We hope people reach out and help. And if they want to just see, can they go and visit? And
absolutely.
Just
make an appointment.
Make an appointment. They could bring the kids to see a miniature horse or a big size, a real size.
Yes, because we
horse.
have draft horses too.
That sounds great. Thanks for being on the show. Placeforpeanut.com. You can help them with real estate. What's your phone number?
832-689-5740.
Sounds like you said 832-689-5740. He's back, Mitch Creekmore, with Stewart Title, our very own international expert with a super tenure. Mitch, you're doing super work there. It is great to see you again. What's a final word you want people to know about Stewart Title or anything else? Do you have a horse?
No. My wife loves them, though. She'd like to have a horse.
Well, you can all go out and see them, right?
Well, now that I've got this contact, yes, she's going to want to do that because she would love being around horses.
Awesome.
Everything would be great. Well, I'm easy to find, Bill, after all these years with Stewart. I'm affectionately known as Mexico Mitch. Imagine that.
Sounds like a branding thing.
Well, if you call Stewart Title and say, hey, where's that Mexican dude? They're going to send you to me after all these years.
Here he is. Thank you so much, Mitch. If they want to reach out to you, they can.
713-724-3381, and the email is mcreekmo @stewart.com, Bill.
Thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik, on behalf of John Bramlett, Tom Carpentier, Larry Warren, Justin Ramirez, all of us at Stewart Insurance and Stewart Title. Thank you for listening. Simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You can see and hear the guests again at stewart.com. Also, you'll see past shows at stewart.com/radio. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week.